Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Self Scout. Eagles insider Dave Spadaro along with Brian Westbrook. This presented by Golden Nugget Jeweler, where Philly gets engaged, and I shock. Right? Sunday night in L.A., Eagles big-time underdogs in the offense with Nick Foles running the show for 3 quarters, Brian. It was smooth sailing.
That's right. They made it interesting in the fourth
yeah,
quarter, but it felt good.
Yeah.
It felt good. You know, reminds you, of course, of last year.
Didn't it?
It certainly did. It's a good feeling. It's certainly good to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Victory Monday back here in Philadelphia. We had some things happen yesterday that were important. All 3 phases contributed to a big-time victory for us. Amazing football game.
It just, to me, the offense, and that's what we're talking about here, felt like there was more energy, took some chances down the field. Nick got the football out of his hands very quickly. Brian, why did this team respond to Nick Foles playing quarterback?
Well, it's important because I think before we even get to Nick Foles, there were 3 players that played a big part in this game plan, in this game, that really hadn't played a big part of any game plan all season long. ALSHON, JEFFERY, big-time game, 160 yards yesterday. Wendell Smallwood, big-time game, came in and ran for 4.8 yards per carry. And then, of course, Nick Foles. The biggest thing about Nick Foles, and this is what you're talking about, Dave, he makes guys around him better. He makes guys have more confidence in themselves than they probably should have. He makes those guys understand, if you're open, I'm going to get you the football, and he distributes the ball to everyone.
It's interesting watching Nick because at times it is not artistic. To me, he looks like, I use this line, a giraffe at times playing quarterback. The way he moves and runs and long loping strides. But he's smart with the football generally. 1 interception on Sunday night. And like you said, I think distributing the football, everybody feels like the ball can come to them on every play. I think that makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference. Everybody is more involved in the game plan. The other thing, and I don't know if you remember when Coy Detmer would come in for Donovan and A.J. Feely, and the offense would actually run smoother because they're running the offense as it's designed, as you run it in practice. They're not improvising. And the strength of Donovan, same thing with Carson, was their ability to use their legs to get on the edge, make different plays, and scramble and make plays. But that's not how you practice it. But Nick Foles comes in, it's the timing passes, getting the ball to receivers in stride. He just did a great job last night of getting everyone involved. It was very impressive.
All right, let's begin at the offensive line because that's where it really started. The Eagles doing a terrific job against Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh. Slide protections, double teams, Foles not sacked, Eagles running for 111 yards, controlling the line of scrimmage. Stefan Wisniewski at left guard, Jason Peters at left tackle. Now, Jason Peters at left tackle, we've talked about him all year as a player who's struggled holding the anchor. I think he looks better late in the year than he did early in the year.
I'll tell you this, and I watched Jason Peters almost every game because I love offensive line play. And, of course, the entire offensive line dominated the trenches last night. But Jason Peters in particular, a lot of those runs when you saw Smallwood and Adams when he had success were right behind Jason Peters. He's pushing his guy and the guy next to him 2 yards deep into the defensive side of the football. It was impressive because that reminded me of back when Jason Peters was a young man. He hitting this first guy on the line of scrimmage, bumping up to the linebacker. He played a great game yesterday. But again, you're playing against 2 of the best interior linemen in the league. Last night, our offensive line certainly was part of the difference.
Brian, I thought after the first half, when it was 13-13 after 2 quarters, Eagles at least established that they could move the football pretty much at will against the Rams. And in the third quarter, it took some help, a big takeaway by Corey Graham. Eagles outscoring the Rams 17-0, going from 13-all to 30-13. 2 Wendell Smallwood touchdown runs, good offensive line surge, good move, good power from Smallwood. And then, again, Nick moving the football around, getting ALSHON involved big time in the second and third quarters. I just love that. I want you to talk about the running backs. Josh Adams ran the ball 14 times, 28 yards, touchdown. Wendell, 10 carries, 48 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is good stuff.
It was good to see our running backs, and Wendell Smallwood in particular, hitting the hole fast. Speed, quickness. That's something we really, because Wendell hasn't played as much this season, we haven't seen a lot of. But this was a game where you couldn't mess around behind the line of scrimmage. You had to go downhill. The holes were open fast and closed just as fast. And Wendell Smallwood, quick area, small area quickness, did a great job of exploding through the football in the holes, and it was impressive to watch. The other thing, Doug Peterson committed to the run game. He said, I don't care if it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and short. We are going to stay and commit to the run game. That's why you had a lot of 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4. You committed early to that run game. Now a defense has to play the run and pass. You kept the defense off balance all game long.
Why did this team take shots down the field when we really hadn't seen it a lot in the previous part of the season?
I'm a firm believer in, Nick Foles sits on that sideline and he says he watches the game, he watches the film just like everyone else, and he says, there's some opportunities for us downfield. I'm not going to be afraid to throw the football downfield and just allow ALSHON Jeffrey, the reason why you brought him here, because he can go up and make those contested catches, those 50-50 balls. You saw that last night. You just want to give those guys a shot at making a play downfield. And then the other thing, because of the rules at this point in the NFL, the advantage goes to the offense. The defenders are at a disadvantage. You have a big-time receiver in ALSHON and other receivers on our team. They can go get the football. Nick Foles just took some shots. He was brave. Doug said, let it loot, let it go, and he took some shots down the field. It was impressive.
All right, let's talk about this offense as we look forward to just a little bit here Sunday against the Houston Texans. We don't know, as we record this, the status of Carson Wentz and his back injury. Nick Foles is the starting quarterback. My assumption is that Nick will be the starter on Sunday.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the picture from the short term at the quarterback position and the long term beyond 2018?
Well, I think this team right now is at a place where you want to allow the momentum to continue to roll. They saw a different type of team when Nick Foles was at the quarterback position. And you never take anything away from your franchise guy, Carson Wentz, but Nick Foles has his team and they're rolling. Everyone around him, offensively, defensively, and special teams are playing better. They're confident in him. You allow that to continue to roll. You don't take him back out of the game, no matter how good Carson is. And I think that he is a talent. You still roll with Nick Foles at this point because he is on a roll. You beat one of the better teams in the NFL, not just the NFC, but the NFL last night. It was impressive. A lot of that credit goes to Nick Foles. You allow him to play.
Yeah, Eagles win this one 30-23 over the LA Rams, get to 7-7. Playoff hope still alive. A little St. Nick magic in December in LA. Let's bring it back to Philadelphia and keep it rolling. That is our Self-Scout presented by Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. Brian Westbrook, Dave Spadaro, thanks so much for joining us.